Hello and welcome back to Bookish Theories. In today's video I would like to talk about IU's digital single 8, focusing on a little breakdown and analysis of both the lyrics and the music video. 8 is a song produced by and featuring SUGA that deals with the themes of memory, sorrow and longing. Following the songs 23 and Palette, which respectively explored IU's difficulties in accepting her role as an adult at 23 and the new confidence that she found at 25, 8 is a track that reflects on IU's personal growth at age 28. In the press release that came out in relation to the song, IU compared this project to a short novel, explaining that it should be seen as a metaphorical confession that a 28-year-old self is making to a fictional you. Regarding the possible inspirations behind the song, IU stated that she herself isn't really sure about where the song actually came from. It could be about her personal feelings or about the collective difficulties that all of us have been experiencing in the past few months. But whether it's one or the other, the song should be seen as an expression of helplessness that is also connected to a sense of longing for happier times. As we'll see in a second, both the song and the music video offer an alternative to reality where IU can live freely and happily. But to a certain extent, the song goes deeper than that because by addressing a generic you, the song acquires a universal meaning. You see, even if times are difficult, all of us can find comfort in memories. And this is because even if they belong in the past, the happiness that is associated with them will never truly change. This idea is obviously a bit bittersweet because we know that these dreams or memories are only an illusion, but this doesn't make them any less powerful because there are times where even a memory from the past can give you the strength you need to move on in the future. In the video, this idea is perfectly conveyed ever since the beginning, where we see a shot of IU entering a room and activating a recording device. Right off the bat, the setting here is very telling because the futuristic reality that we are being presented is very lonely and sterile. This links us right back to the possible inspiration that IU might have found in the current events of society. But the video also shows us that she found a remedy to this isolation because the device that she is activating is actually meant to save her memories while she is remembering them. The futuristic hospital setting here suggests that this process is meant to have a healing effect on her. And this idea is also confirmed by the recurring presence of the lizard in the video, because the lizard is an animal that is often associated with regeneration. This implies that IU here is literally healing herself by remembering happier times. So when the device is activated, she loses consciousness and we travel back in time through memory. This is also confirmed in the first verse, where IU asks her loved one if they are happy now, only to admit that she's lost everything instead. In this context, the two of them are divided and IU is obviously suffering because of that. But this sorrow has an even deeper impact because right after, she says that she doesn't want to love anything because everything comes as it pleases and she can never say goodbye when it goes. These lyrics basically imply that she feels powerless over the constant changes in her life, but one thing that she can actually control is her memory. So when the sun sets, she travels to those memories to be with her loved one again. In this imaginary place, the two of them can dance under the orange sun and without shadows. It's a safe place, if you will, where goodbyes are still undecided and they can be young forever. Now, if you look closely, the fantasy associated with her memory is so comforting that when she thinks about it, her present self starts smiling even when she is unconscious. And this idea is also reinforced by the use of color in the video, because the cold atmosphere of the room turns warm and orange like the memory she is dreaming about. This warmth implies that the healing process has begun, but this is not to say that all her memories are happy, because as a matter of fact, they are really not. You see, even when she is in her dream world, we see that there are moments where she is alone and she's looking for something. But learning to embrace the negative memories as well as the good ones is a part of the healing process. And the relationship with the lizard in the video shows us this in a really creative way. Now, let's say that the lizard is a representation of her rebirth and the symbol of her lost affections. When she is remembering happy memories, the lizard is safe in her room. But when SUGA's verse comes along, we see a dream within a dream where the lizard is swept away by the storm. This is a very visual representation of the sudden goodbyes that both IU and SUGA mention in the lyrics. Everything happens suddenly and unexpectedly, and IU has no time to say goodbye because when she wakes up from her nightmare, the lizard is really gone. When she goes back to her fantasy, however, that is, to the memory of their time spent together, the lizard returns in the shape of a dragon, meaning that even a negative experience can become empowering when you think about it in retrospect. As we see in the video, however, in order to embrace the bad memories, cherish the good ones and get out of the darkness, she needs to take a leap of faith. And this can be scary, of course, but this jump into the unknown is eventually rewarded because the connection that they shared is far stronger than the loss. As SUGA says in his verse, a memory can be compared to an island that two people can build together. So even if a goodbye can be seen as a disaster and the word forever is as fragile as a sand castle, this doesn't really count in your memory, because in a memory forever is forever and people who are apart can spend the eternity together. This is a place where there are no sad endings, where they can tell each other happy stories and where they can be young forever. And the best thing about this is that nothing can change that, because that memory will always be a part of her. At the end of the video, however, we get the sense that this conclusion is still a bit bittersweet, because as we see IU and the dragon flying away, the IU on the plane looks at them while smiling in tears. Now, this is an essential scene to understand what's going on, because the two different animations represent two different stages of life. On the one hand, we have IU on the plane flying forward. In this plane, we also see SUGA next to her, and we know that it's him because he has an army ring on his finger. So in this context, the plane represents reality and IU moving on in the future. On the other hand, however, we have another version of her who is flying back on the dragon, which is an animal that belongs to the fantasy world and to the island where she can always come back to. This is a representation of the past going back where it belongs, meaning that at this point her regeneration is complete and she is finally able to let go, move forward and cherish the memories that she made along the way. When IU eventually wakes up, she's still alone, but she smiles, and if you look closely, the scene is much brighter than the beginning. This implies that even if the past stays in the past, saving your memories can bring you comfort even in your darkest moments. They may not fix the situation, but they can help you, because no matter what, the island that you built with love will always be there for you. So that's it from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please think about liking and subscribing. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.